What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Two for Two podcast, your sports podcast for the culture by the voices of the culture. I'm your host, Quis, and I'm here with my co-host, Nell. And we got a really good episode coming to y'all today. We're going to recap NFL Week 7, and we got the NBA season right here. It's officially here this week, kicking off. So here we go, Season 3, Episode 12. Let's get it. Nell, how you doing, my boy? I see you sixed it up, man. You ready?
My
You ready for
guy.
the year? Y'all got a big game coming up, man. Y'all got the Milwaukee Bucks this week
Dame
starting off,
Dollar.
opening,
Yeah.
How you
Starting
feeling,
off
bro?
crazy. Yeah, dog, I'm feeling good. James Harden don't want to show up, but one thing that's consistent year in and year out, I'm gonna be there for my squad. So
Nell
we
gonna
be
show.
ready. New coach, MVP, we ready.
Same expectations.
We coming.
All right.
That's all
Y'all
I'm gonna
heard
say.
him. Y'all heard him. Nell not gonna get too deep into it, man. But the NBA season is here. Really excited. Games every single day. It's sports overload. You got your Phillies in game 7. Uh your Cowboys playing, my Bucks playing, Knicks playing, Sixers playing. So much going on, man. It's a great time to be a sports fan. So, here at Two for Two, we're gonna try to kind of find a way to, bridge the gap for the people that listen, people that follow sports often and those that don't. We got a little bit of everything. So we're going to jump right into it, man. We're going to start off recapping NFL Week 7. The Baltimore Ravens, my hometown Ravens, my Newtown Ravens, excuse me, with a big win over the Detroit Lions, a team that some people said were the third best team in the NFC. Some people, even after their win against the Bucks last week or 2 weeks ago now, they said they were one of the better teams in the NFC because the Eagles had lost and the Niners had lost. But the
They
Ravens come
still
out
up
and,
there. They
yeah,
still up there.
I
Bad
mean,
loss, but they still up there.
right. So to your point, is this game against the Ravens? The Ravens blew out the Lions for those of y'all who did not know, not even close. Lamar, Mark Andrews, Gus Edwards, Odell, Zay Flowers, everybody had a good game. And it looked like the Ravens team that I've been talking about for a long time, getting that offense going, explosive. It looks like they're figuring it out, man. So, Nell, with that, man, who wins the AFC North now? I mean, the Bengals are heating up. The Steelers are still finding ways to win. Ravens are winning games. The Browns have arguably one of the best defensive lines in the NFL. They've won some big games. Who wins this? We talked about it. We talked about it now. Who wins it?
Yeah, right now I'm gonna have to obviously I think the easy choice is the Ravens.
Yeah.
I know as Walt would like to remind me, the Steelers have already beaten the Ravens, but um, you know, for the first time since week 3, Pittsburgh scored more than one offensive touchdown. So I'm not, all the way there with them yet.
We not
Offensively,
yeah.
they're still a work in progress. Uh Deontay Johnson's back, so maybe that helps their offense out a little bit. But for right now, I think you got to go to Ravens. But Bengals are starting to figure it out.
Mhm.
It can be a dangerous team when they're clicking because they've got some
Yep.
explosive playmakers. So coming off the bye week 3-3, they can get healthy.
And they got a
I
big
think
one this
they're
week.
yeah, yeah, and they're against 49ers. That'll be a tough one. So, if they can win that one, they're definitely a threat. But, I think the Ravens so far through 7 weeks have solidified themselves as the leader in the AFC North.
Yeah, I'm right with you. I picked the Ravens to win it all along. I'm glad they're starting to click, man. Lamar looks good. They did a great job stopping that Detroit offense. Jahmyr Gibbs' first game being heavily featured. Didn't show too much. He did score a touchdown towards the end of the game, but the offense was the story for the Baltimore Ravens. Now Lamar looked comfortable. It looks like they kind of figuring out. So with that though, are the Ravens a Super Bowl contender, or are they still just like, they'll win the AFC North, maybe get a playoff win, maybe not? Or I mean, hey, I predicted them to go to the Super Bowl. So what you think? You already know what I think. What about you now?
Yeah, I think they're in the mix. I think especially, outside of Kansas City, every other team in the AFC is, kind of had head scratching losses. Bills, even the Dolphins losing by 28 to Buffalo. Um, so they're certainly in the mix, but I don't know if I necessarily see them having a chance to really get to the Super Bowl this year. I
Mm.
think, their defense is definitely Super Bowl caliber. But we'll see if, offensively they can, put up points like this consistently. They had 10 plays of 20 or more yards. Those type of explosive plays, not something that we've seen from Baltimore much this season. But it was just one game, like I said. So, Lamar played really well, from the pocket, throwing for almost 400 yards. So, we'll just have to see if their playmakers can, because we saw against Pittsburgh, a bunch of drop touchdowns. So just like this offense could show you, they can break out and have a game like this. They're also capable of dropping balls and not making plays when they need to. So you got the MVP, a former MVP on your team, so they've got a shot, but I'm not all the way there yet.
Yeah, and then I mean that's been the story of the NFL season, right? It's we always talk about how the NFL is a week to week league, and this season has been the perfect um way to showcase that. You got one week where, like you said, the Ravens look amazing, then they lose to the Steelers. You got the 49ers now, uh, who've taken two straight, and you like, oh, it's Brock Purdy. We was on here 2 weeks ago. I'm talking about I'm apologizing to Brock Purdy, right? The Cowboys coming out,
Yeah,
they
that was
laid.
embarrassing.
Yeah, it was. I ain't even gonna do the Cowboys. I'm gonna leave that one alone. I'm on here talking about how Baker Mayfield is, looks way, way better. And now Bucks fans are calling for Baker Mayfield to lose his job. Things like that. The NFL is week to week. And none other than that, none other than the Bills and the Dolphins also have showcased that once again. The Bills with a terrible loss to New England Patriots, who had one win prior to, and then the Dolphins in a game that they were supposed to show, were they really a contender? They played against the Eagles. Wasn't pretty. Not an awful game, but they lost by double digits. I know you're more of a numbers guy than I am, but the Dolphins, I think they haven't really beaten a good team really all year, like a good team record wise. So every time they play a good team, they lose. So between those two teams, man, we got Josh Allen, who we talk about. He got to show us something. We got the Dolphins on the other side. Who are you more concerned with in the AFC? The Dolphins or the Buffalo Bills?
Yeah, I think both losses were a bit concerning for both teams, but I'm going to go with Miami just for a couple of reasons that you pointed out. Um, you know, they've had the second weakest schedule to start the season. The two losses that they have, the only two winning teams that they played, albeit both were on the road. Like I said, really good teams that, most people consider Super Bowl caliber teams.
Exactly.
So, those are tough games to win on the road, but um, the way they lost the Buffalo game 48-20, this game, it was close in the fourth quarter, but how close would it have been if, the Dolphins didn't get that pick six? I mean, Philly kind of really manhandled them most of the night. So that's two times, two pretty good playoff defenses have been able to, just kind of slow down that explosive Miami offense. I think we've seen Buffalo at their best, the three straight weeks of them scoring 40 points, hanging 48 on the Dolphins. I think at their best, you can see the Bills, having a better chance going forward in the playoffs. But both teams, are in a bit of well, I wouldn't say the Dolphins are in a slump, but I
Yeah.
just think going towards the postseason, I think if the Bills and Miami matched up in the playoffs, and with Buffalo already winning one game head to head, if that was in Buffalo, I would favor Buffalo in that situation.
All right. I mean, it's tough. The Dolphins, we've seen how explosive their offense can be, but like we said, it's not against great competition. That's not to say their offense didn't look all right. The game against the Eagles, it wasn't awful. I mean, Tua didn't light it up, but there's arguments for the Dolphins don't have, Jalen Ramsey yet. Their defense isn't healthy, all that. And that's something to take into consideration. But with that as well, you got to take into consideration what is he going to look like when he gets back, right? We do not know. On the other side, the Bills, my only thing with the Bills is that it's so inconsistent. Like you said, they putting up 40 points, and then you go out and it's a game, it's like it's supposed to be easy. Josh Allen snap, like you're playing the Patriots, they're in flux. They don't know what they got going on. Mac Jones about to lose his job. Hadn't looked good at all, and then you do what you did. You know what I'm saying? So, but I think I'm with you on the fact that the Bills, though, we've seen enough of it. Like we know, like at the end of the day, like you said, if the Bills and Dolphins were to face off, there's no way in my right mind that I would think the Dolphins could win that game because they haven't
Yeah,
shown us in any of the last 2 years really that they
yeah,
can.
like you said, when we started the show, it's just every team has had some tough losses. It's every week to week is something else. So it's at the end of the day, it's just going to come down to who's playing their best football
Yeah,
in January and February. As how it's been the last couple of years. These early season losses, won't matter much if the Bills and Dolphins are really clicking on all cylinders late in the season. And I think Buffalo has shown when they're clicking on all cylinders, even against some of the best teams in the league, uh, you know, they're one of the best. So, Miami just hasn't proven that against one of the elite teams in the NFL this year.
yeah, they're gonna have to get one sooner or later. Or I mean, because like you said, when you get to the playoffs, every team you playing is a good team. It's going to be a quality win, especially you don't win that division. You mentioned it. Two of their two losses have been on the road. You get a road playoff game. I mean, it's gonna be and the AFC. We talking about it, the Ravens. We got the Chiefs. You got the Bills will be in there. The Bengals trying to fight back up as well. Like that's not gonna. They're not. The Dolphins aren't gonna get easy out. Any type of way when they get to the playoffs. So I'm gonna lean to the side. I'm a little more concerned about the Dolphins. The Dolphins get a bounce back with the Patriots. The Bills get to bounce back with my struggling Bucks. So, I mean, if so, I mean, both teams should, in theory, be able to come back, and bounce back this week. But the biggest team that we need to talk about is the team that we talked about just a little bit in that aside. The San Francisco 49ers, they are officially in trouble. On the watch list, Brock Purdy, my man, we talked so highly of you. You got us. And then what happened? You folded. You folded. It seems like every time we try to jump on the bandwagon of somebody, they just lose. They lose their marbles. 49ers, man, with a tough loss, unexpected too, to the Minnesota Vikings and Kirk Cousins without Justin Jefferson, without a run game, without a great defense. But Brian Flores, man, shout out to Brian Flores. He really dialed it up, they had a great defensive showing. Christian McCaffrey rushed for what, 45 yards. Brandon Ayuk had a great first half and then went missing. Brock Purdy didn't look good, threw a pick to end the game. We're not used to seeing this from the 49ers. You know what I'm saying? Their defense didn't look great. Kirk Cousins threw for what, 370 or something? And that's like I said, without without the best receiver in the NFL. Rookie Jordan Addison looked great. TJ Hawkinson looked great. The 49ers in trouble now. So I mean, what do they got to do to get out the hole? Is it just a couple games? Is it have they been figured out? What is it?
I think they just need to get healthy. Um, Obviously, we can talk all we want about Brock Purdy struggles and he's not elite without his supporting cast, and I mean that's most likely true. And I think most people kind of knew that coming into the season. At the end of the day, this was Mr. Irrelevant. This wasn't somebody scouts were enamored with and NFL teams were, because even the 49ers passed up on him 6 times. So we knew he wasn't some top five quarterback. And, when you have your left tackle out, Christian McCaffrey, he
Banged up.
played, and, had a solid game, but, still didn't look like the Christian McCaffrey that we've seen throughout this season. And this is still a run first football team. They run
Yeah,
the ball 51% of the time, most in the league. Like you say, Christian McCaffrey only had 45 yards rushing last night. You don't have Trent Williams. Your left tackle's out. Debo, one of your best playmakers, is out. So yeah, Brock Purdy's, if all that happens, yeah, Brock Purdy's gonna have games where he looks like that just simply because uh we haven't really seen him, in all these games kind of
yeah,
really have to, make comebacks in the second half and work without a run game and being under duress most of the game.
right.
So these are kind of new situations that we've seen him in.
Yeah,
But I think if they just get healthy, if they have their left offensive line intact, if Debo and Ayuk and Kittle are all there, it makes it a lot easier for him. And defensively, like you said, they didn't have a great game. Kirk Cousins was great on third down, but still only gave up 22 points. San Fran's offense, is much more explosive than they showed. Um, you know, they'll be fine.
yeah,
It's no worries, but obviously they've got to be healthy and have everyone to make the game for Purdy easy.
yeah. It was one of those cases where it made the guy that traditionally his job is just get the ball to the playmakers, let them make plays. I mean, they turned him into he had to be the playmaker. You know what I'm saying? Everything that wasn't there, he had to create some plays. Brandon Ayuk, they're like, okay, there's no Debo. I mean,
Makes it easier to scheme.
exactly. You know what I'm saying? Juwan Jennings is serviceable, but I mean, he's a wide receiver 3, wide receiver 4. Um, Christian McCaffrey definitely hampered by injury, so he's not as explosive. He didn't look as explosive, nearly as explosive. He still scored a touchdown, another touchdown for McCaffrey. Talk about Nelly's numbers, man. That's a good those some good numbers to stick with. But at the end of the day, like you said, he was a 6 round pick for a reason. Um, you know, he's not Tom Brady, not right now, that can prove to win with less. The scheme is amazing. That helps him a lot. But when you lose guys, it makes it a lot easier to scheme against them defensively. And that's what we saw. But with that though, the injury bug it's a real thing. At the end, we talked about last year, the Eagles were the healthiest team in the NFL. One, what I'm saying, got to a Super Bowl. I mean, at the end of the day, one or two injuries can really turn your team around. And if they can't get those guys back healthy, fast enough, they might see themselves slide. And then, like we said, they play against the Cincinnati Bengals this week. Uh, they hot coming off a bye. They're healthy. You know what I'm saying? So it'll be tough, man. The 49ers, they got to figure it out. I'm sure. I mean, but they're more than capable. I think if they get healthy, they'll be fine. I think they'll make a pretty good statement this week. And speaking of this week, that's our game of the week now. The 49ers versus Cincinnati Bengals. Niners coming off that loss. Like we said, Bengals coming off the bye. They've won what, 3 straight now, I think? Or
I think it's
they're
2 out of their last 3.
yeah, 2 of their last 3. Going into this one, Nell, this is game of the week. Tell me how you tell me you I need a prediction. I need some analysis. Where you leaning? What you think? What did the Niners have to do to get back on track? How did the Bengals fend them off? What you got?
Prediction is tough. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go with the Bengals at home. I'm gonna
Mm,
I'm gonna go with the Bengals at home. I
back on
think
the
coming off the
bandwagon.
bye,
Back on
I
the
think
bandwagon.
yeah, I know now they're gonna lose. Now they're gonna
The
lose.
game is over now. Nell has tricked it up.
But I think Jamar Chase, if Higgins is healthy off the bye, um, I think they can get it done at home. I think winning 2 out of 3 going into the bye gave them a lot of confidence, a lot of things that they can work on, and really come back and try to look like that team that most people expected to see at the start of the season.
Yeah.
Uh, maybe their defense started to play a lot better too. Maybe they can get some pressure on Brock Purdy and force him into a couple of mistakes. So we'll see. We'll see. I'm thinking, with the 49ers a little banged up right now and Bengals coming off a bye, I think they can steal that one.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I was gonna go with the Bengals as well. I mean, I'm a little nervous for us because you went with the Bengals. So, uh, but I mean, like for those reasons you said, bro, I think the Bengals are figuring it out. I mean, this is a team that they were in the Super Bowl 2 years ago, and I mean, last year they were a playoff team. Joe Burrow is still Joe Burrow. He's gotten healthier. The calf he had more time last week to rest that up. And what I'm excited to see is like the Niners have now shown their hand a couple times with how the teams kind of how to beat them. Getting Brock Purdy, putting pressure on Purdy, making him have to be the playmaker, taking away guys, making it as hard as possible. If those guys aren't healthy, if Debo's not back, um, if McCaffrey doesn't heal up a little bit more, I mean they played on Monday night, so I mean they got a I guess short week in a sense. It's going to be tough. And I think the Bengals offense has figured out Jamar Chase is going to have a great game, I think. Niners struggled to guard Jordan Addison. I think, I mean, Jamar Chase, Jamar Chase is better than Jordan Addison, and that's not to say Jordan Addison's not great, but I mean he's not Jamar Chase either. Tyler Boyd will have a good game. I think. I think Joe Burrow and them will get it done, and I'm gonna go with the Bengals as well, bro. I think that they can really. I think they're gonna really get rolling here. The Niners gonna kind of be in flux real soon and have to make some tough decisions because Purdy's not the guy that's gonna win you the game, right? Like he's not gonna win it for you. Now, traditionally, he's been a guy he won't lose it, but like you said, without those weapons, it all has to come together for that scheme to look as beautiful as it has. And when they don't, when you're missing some pieces from it, it can mess you up. And we've seen this with the Niners before. I mean, the Niners' issue is health, health, health. That's what ruined them last year. I mean, they're a great team unhealthy. If they're not, I mean, hey, and I think this game is gonna be I'm gonna go with like a 31-27, 31-28 type game for the Bengals to win. I think they, we'll see their kicker probably kick another game winner. He was big on that last year. And I'm gonna go with the Bengals in our game of the week, man. So shoot. Hopefully we go 2 for 2.
Hopefully.
I don't know when the last time I don't know when the last time we're on the snag too with the 2 for 2, man. But we got one more game we want to look ahead to. For y'all Steelers fans out here, y'all been asking for it. It took a lot out of us. I'm be honest. But y'all always find a way to get it done. I said it on here earlier, Nell. They've mastered the ugly win. They get a touchdown, they get a couple field goals. They find a way to win the game. You know what I'm saying? The Pittsburgh Steelers going against the Jacksonville Jaguars this Sunday. Um, big game, AFC implications. Jags are on the win streak. Steelers are getting healthy. How you feeling about this one? I know what the Steelers fans want us to say now, but we gotta be brutally honest with them here. So go ahead.
Yeah, man. I'm taking
Walk going exit this whole part out the pod. Walk go
look,
cut this Walt.
you talked about Jacksonville on a little streak, 4 in a row. Trevor Lawrence, Calvin Ridley, they're starting to pick it up.
Bro,
Defensively, they're
Calvin
playing a little bit better. Christian Kirk starting to make some plays. So, offensively, they're starting to look a lot better. The schedule hasn't, been too hard for them, either. That helps their situation. But, in terms of, for Pittsburgh, I just don't know if I trust their offense. I think they're due for another stinker. It's always like, it's probably a game that most, Steeler fans and everyone expects Pittsburgh to win. That's when they drop that egg. That's when it's too easy. That's when they lay the egg. When you're not expecting it, like the Ravens,
Facts.
they somehow pull it off. Even the Rams, that was kind of a toss up, but Steelers were favored. Again, TJ Watt has to make an insane defensive
every
play
every time.
uh every time. He's got to be in the MVP discussion with the way he's just like literally willing that team to win sometime with the plays that he makes defensively. So he's always a chance to be a game wrecker. But I think Pittsburgh's due to lay an egg, and I think Jacksonville's the team to go in there and do it.
Hey, I'm gonna go the other way, man. I'm gonna go the other way. We I like the Jags. You know what I'm saying? Trevor Lawrence, cool. Travis
I
Etienne's
don't
having.
even like him. I don't even like him because Trevor Lawrence, like,
Nah, he
he
we
just
we talk about
refuses
Trevor
to
Lawrence
he
every week.
refuses to get like 20 points in
Bro,
fantasy anytime.
16, 17 is his max every week, bro. But Travis Etienne has been carrying them offensively. You mentioned Christian Kirk, who's been making some big plays, made a big play for him in that Saints game. But I mean, even that, I mean, that's kind of what I'm going on for. That Saints game was ugly, and the Saints very well could have won it. You know what I'm saying? Something about the Jags for me now, it's like they do just enough to like win a game. Like you never like, oh, that was very convincing. Like, oh, they have some great offensive drives. And they have some absolute stinkers. Like, what, you know what I'm saying? What you doing? Why Calvin really only getting 5 yards a game? You know what I'm saying? Why can't Calvin really get the ball and get 100 yards receiving like everybody else can? So I think the Steelers, man, they just kind of, like I said, they just know how to win the ugly game. This game alone just has ugly written all over it. I'm let to be honest. Nell didn't want this to be the game of the week. I did. I wanted to give the Steelers
Yeah,
country,
that's an ugly
Steelers
game of the week. I
nation.
wouldn't let him do that to y'all.
Yeah, I was trying. I was trying. Um, but I'm gonna go with the Steelers, man. I think Deontay Johnson, with another week, he'll look. I mean, he had a pretty decent game.
He was all right.
I mean, Najee Harris off of the bye. Last year after the bye, he got right. This year after the bye, I mean, he didn't have an awful game either. And TJ Watt is the big difference. I mean, Trevor Lawrence is going to try it. I mean, I think they'll stop ETN enough. And if they can't get the ball to Calvin Ridley, I don't know, like if Christian Kirk and Evan Ingram are going to carry it for long. Like eventually, like they look really good, sure, but the Steelers, the way they scheme, the way they play, they're gonna make this game tough. It's gonna be really hard for Trevor Lawrence to get things going. Doug P is gonna have to pull some really, really good stuff out to get this W. I think it could be a really, really low scoring, like 13-10 Steelers win. You know what I'm saying? So Steeler Nation, I'm going back to my roots, man. I grew up a Steelers fan before I was able to make my own terrible decision around like
That's crazy.
2000 to what? I was a
That's
Steelers fan
crazy.
since I was 6. 2002, I changed, became a Bucks fan.
Switched up.
I mean, I didn't want to be a Steelers fan forever. Like my dad's a Steelers fan, so it was respect, but I had to choose my own way.
I
And
feel
boy,
that.
did I choose a way.
I probably should have done that, but no, I was loyal to the soil.
And you see how that's gotten you.
Yeah, let's not talk about it.
Hey man, we don't even need to harp on that. You know what I'm saying? Cowboys had a bye week. Nell had a bye week. But we here and we NBA season is here now. We gonna move away from the NFL. When I was in middle school, one of our coaches, one of my best friends, Ryan, he was a basketball player, tried to play football, and he was like, "Hey, put the oblong ball away, get to the round ball." You know what I'm saying? So we go on to basketball. We're gonna segue back into the NBA now. Last week we previewed it, talked about Wemby. Really excited for that. We talked about some of the other teams. We talked about some of the who we think is gonna make a finals push. But this week, we're gonna just talk about like, what are we most excited for now? Like who are we most excited to see? What are we most excited to see with NBA season starting this week? What you got? I know your Sixers are kinda,
Kinda,
on your watch list. Now
kinda on my watch list. I'm locked in
Nell,
82
look at
games. You
82
feel me?
straight.
I'm locked
Nell
in
gonna watch all
82
82.
games.
One thing about me and Nell, we gonna watch all 82 of our team. I will sit through them Nick games, even
Come on,
though
man.
I
Ain't missed
don't
a
want to.
Sixers game since '08.
Hey, hey, League Pass is gonna do me good this year. Uh, Nell, you got it. They show y'all your team every time they play around your way.
Yeah.
But me being the guy from
Look, I'm on,
Virginia,
I'm on
we gonna
that
have
league pass too.
so we
I
gonna we
need
gonna
to
run it
watch
up.
Wimby and Steph.
Hey, so that you just said it for me, man. I'm excited to see Stephen Curry, Wardell every year, man. Every year the guy
Every
just
year.
he just it's no slowing him down, right? You think like, oh, he get older, like when would he gets better and better and better. He's carried the Warriors every year. Somebody's like, oh, how much longer can he do it for? I put him in my top three. Had somebody reach out to me and say Steph at three. I'm like, who else you gonna put at three? He didn't respond. I'm excited to see Steph Curry. I'm excited to see the Warriors, man. I'm excited to see how they look this year. I did catch some preseason. Jonathan Kaminga looks a little bit better. He looked like he's kind of, figuring out a role for himself, and that's going to be big for the Warriors. Also, with that, the big storyline, Klay Thompson will be finding free agency this year. He will be testing free agency. So, what kind of season does he have now that he's in a contract year, right? I'm curious to see how all of this works for the Golden State Warriors. Um, Hopefully it's to their advantage. Hopefully that makes Clay more motivated, right? Hopefully they can give Steph some nights off where he don't have to will them boys to victory and rattle off 4 threes in 2 minutes. You know what I'm saying? To cut a 16-point lead to 4. You know what I'm saying? So I'm excited to see the Warriors. I'm excited to see my Knicks, man. I haven't talked much about them. Bouncing back from our tough, we should have beat the Heat, man, in the playoffs last year. But it's gonna be
No,
the
y'all
year.
shouldn't.
I think what we're power ranked seventh, right?
I mean, in just on
Yes.
NBA.com, nobody else was dumb enough to think y'all was top 10
So my Knicks are a top 10 team, man. We got
in
Jalen
one
Brunson,
publication. Don't forget to mention that. Just in one publication.
the publication of the league. How do you
Yeah,
contend with
because
that?
clearly they know what they're talking about.
Yeah, exactly. The people in the big offices writing it, man. Really excited to see the Knicks, though, in all seriousness. Jalen Brunson in year 2 with the Knicks.
Said nobody ever.
I'm not even gonna say what I was gonna say, but I was gonna really piss you off. But I'm gonna just let that go. We talked about it this morning. You know what I'm talking about. What I woke up to.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm still laughing at that.
So excited to see my Knicks, man. Excited to see the Warriors. I'm really excited for these rookies. Um, Aside from Wimby, I don't think, like I said, I don't think we're gonna have really like big name stars, you know what I'm saying, coming from the class. But I think we have some very formidable guys that'll play very long careers. The Thompson twins, excited to see them play. Um, Excited to see my guy, what's his name? Your guy from Villanova. You know what I'm talking about.
I don't know what
The
you're talking about.
Rockets. He was supposed to be drafted early. Dang, I'm mad. I forgot his name. My guy from Villanova that plays for the Rockets, man. I'm excited to see him too. So it's a lot going on in the NBA season. We got a lot of storylines to cover. But what are you most excited for now?
Yeah, honestly, it's a lot. I could go on about teams
Oh, his name's
and
Cam Whitmore.
players.
So sorry, I remembered it. It's Cam
There
Whitmore.
you go.
Yep,
All
go
right.
ahead.
But there's a bunch of teams and, players I'm excited to see. But, I'm excited to see how the new rule, how they go
Mm,
about implementing the new rule about, load managing and, you know, you know, superstars, all stars, however you want to phrase it, playing on nationally televised games. Definitely think that's something that's been, hurting the league and ratings the past couple of years. I know when I get ready to tune into a ESPN or TNT game and then you see the best player, best 2 or 3 players are all sitting out. It just makes you not want to watch it. It's not exciting. These, sometimes they're the marquee matchups of the
yeah,
NBA. You want to see
exactly.
these guys go at it. And B, that's my guy, but you
Yeah,
can't
can't have
just
that
just
same.
take a night off in Denver. No, like the league wants to see this. The fans want to see it. We want to see you and Joker. So lace your shoes up and play in Denver this year. Um, but yeah, I'm excited to see my Sixers under a new head coach. Offense playing a lot faster, moving the ball, seeing what Embiid can add to his game. Heard he's been working on his floater. If he get a little floater in his game, you can wrap it up. We might go back to back on the MVP.
You know where he gonna find
Um,
that floater at?
yeah, okay. Anyway, I'm not even listening to your nonsense. Not excited to see the Knicks this year. That's probably like a bottom 5 league pass team for me, if I'm being honest.
Don't worry, I will keep you updated.
Yeah, okay.
You can
But
pencil
yeah,
that
man.
nightly. Actually,
Well,
you can just accept that you're gonna get a Nick like daily thread from me.
I'll just like probably mute you.
Nice, got you. Me and
I
Nell
don't
don't
need
talk much outside of the pod because of this, because we don't know how to have a normal conversation without it going left.
That's you. That's you that be starting, first of all.
I woke up this morning with good news, and Nell basically wrote me off. Like after it was 8:30,
It was laughable news.
it was not. I can't wait for the day it happens. But go ahead, go ahead. I'm sorry, I'm done talking. Go ahead.
I mean, I'm pretty much done, man. I'm excited for Wimby, excited for Sixers. I'm just excited. See with
Yeah.
this the tournament, it sounds stupid, but
I'm hoping they ask them. They're gonna do a bunch of
we'll see what
extra
happens.
there, and it's gonna be weird, but it's just another game. But I love what you said though. Now, like the new rule, I want to see that. We talked about guys like MB, guys like Kawhi Leonard. That we don't get to see him play as much as we might want to because of the fact that like, oh, okay, well, I played yesterday. You know what I'm saying? Like Like, bro, okay, there's no data that shows sitting out makes you healthier, especially when guys that sit out still end up hurt again. Some like you sitting and you still hurt. So what we sitting for? You know what I'm saying? Like if you're gonna end
Just
up
play.
right,
Yeah.
just play the game. I want to see that. Like I want to see that competitive nature really, really back within the NBA. Like I'm already sick. We talking about Bill out. You know what I'm saying? First game, like he had all summer. You know what I'm saying? You had all summer for this game. How don't you
They,
prepare
they said
yourself?
they try and be cautious with his back.
Like
Yeah.
cautious with your back in the week in game one. Draymond out with a sprained ankle. Like injuries, just they already starting that foolishness now, and I'm not a fan. The players are trying to push back to the new rule. I talked about Kawhi. He talking about no rules gonna make me play more than I want to play. Like, we in the league. Like then when you the seventh seed and you got to play against, what I'm saying, a great team, or you got to play a playing game. Now you mad because you got a playing game, but you should have played 10 more games and you could have won them. You know what I'm saying? So I'm really excited for that as well. Um, I'm curious to see how Adam Silver and the league controls that throughout the year, because like you said, the teams are gonna find them loopholes. They're gonna try to figure out ways to get guys in and out. As you see, what I'm saying, list a guy with a back injury in game one. Now it lingers on. Like just little stupid stuff. Not fun, but whatever. But there's one more thing about the NBA that I wanted to ask you. We want to look at who is your most overrated team going into the season, and who is your most underrated team going into the season.
Most underrated, I'm gonna go with them LA boys, not the Lakers. Kawhi, PG, and the Clippers. I'm gonna go them. I
And
know
Russ.
teams. I know players been
And Russ.
Kawhi, PG, and them boys. I know
Russ.
teams. Look, man, we'll
Russ is
see.
back.
We'll see. We'll see.
Russ
Like
might be on triple double watch, man. I'm telling you.
like he said him getting back to himself is 21, 11, and 12.
Yeah.
So
So you know where his head at. That's
we'll
one dude
see.
that's gonna play every night and play hard.
Yeah, that's true. But again, that's not really one of the reasons. But I feel like people talk about the Clippers, being a team that could win a championship every single year since Kawhi and PG have come together. They've only made it to the conference finals one time, but at the end of the day, if you got those two healthy, I think they have one of, if not the best bench in the league. With Norman Powell, Terrence Mann, uh, Marcus Morris, Batum, dudes that they won't give up for James Harden. But if all those guys are healthy at the right time, I mean, we saw what Kawhi was doing in Phoenix with no Paul George,
Yeah.
against KD and Book and those boys. So, when they get to the playoffs, they got star power, they got depth, they got coaching. Like they have everything. They have size, they have shooting, they have everything you need to make a deep playoff run. But can they be healthy at the right times? And history shows that that won't be the case. But if it is, they're a dangerous team.
Yeah. I like that. I think for me, my most underrated team, I talked about a little on the preview, is the New Orleans Pelicans. I mean, I
It's
think
cool.
a team that they're young, but they have everything that you need. You know what I'm saying? They have an electric. They have two really electric scorers. One's extremely efficient in Zion Williamson. The other one, Brandon Ingram, who can shoot it, pass it, rebound. You got CJ McCollum at running the one to kind of be steady. He's gonna always get his 15 and 6 assists. You got Jonas Valanciunas. You got guys like Herb Jones on the bench. You got guys like Trey Murphy. You got a player coaching Willie Green. I mean, it's time for them to take that next step. And I think, like I said in the preview, people forget that team was top three in the West when Zion was fully healthy. So, especially in a league where we talking about guys that teams that might sit guys or whatever, they're gonna make some noise, I think, and they're gonna make it tough for a lot of guys or a lot of teams night in and night out. So I'm going with them. So, who's your most overrated?
I was going back and forth with this. I know we talked about it before we started recording, but I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go with the Minnesota Timberwolves.
Hmm.
I think there's been a lot of hype about them this year because of the summer that Anthony Edwards has had with Team USA, just looking like a budding superstar. Everyone's excited for his growth, but it's just something about that Carl Anthony Towns, Rudy Gobert fit that I just don't like. Um, they just signed McDaniels to a lot of money. Uh, you know, especially with these new CBA rules. Um, about bringing in players. Uh, it's going to be pretty hard to build out a great roster when you got a lot of money tied into some of these players. And you got Rudy Cat, McDaniel's making a lot of money. You know, Anthony Edwards is going to be due up soon. So I just don't know how that fit really meshes. They were a playing team last year. Lucky to get in. Like you said, I think the Pelicans, if Zion's healthy, I think they're a better team. I think OKC is going to be a lot better this year. I think they're right there with them. So they'll possibly be a play-in team again, but I wouldn't be surprised if they're the ninth, 10th seed, or they're on the outside looking in.
Yeah, I like that a lot. I want Anthony Edwards to get out of there fast. Like they're just, you know, Rudy Gobert is not my favorite person. He's not my favorite player. I don't think he's good at all. Um,
Kyle
Carl
Anderson would
Anthony
agree with you.
Towns, huh?
I said Kyle Anderson might agree with you.
Oh, exactly. Like he's trash. Like I mean, for what he's supposed to be, he's
He's
just not
not trash. It's
trash.
just he's just like
Trash. I'm not even
he's just
listening.
a rim protector that's getting 200 mil, which is like crazy.
And but wants to be an offensive focal point at some point, which is weird. It's like he takes away from what Cat does because Cat is like,
So
I
where
mean,
fit. So where fit.
yeah, it just don't fit, man. Ant need to go, Cat need to go. They can leave him out there and play. It could be him, Nas Reed, and all of them can play together and do whatever they want to do. But definitely overrated. Um, my overrated team, I'm gonna stay on the West, man. I'm going with the Memphis Grizzlies. And I hate to say that because I love John Morant. I do not like Jaren Jackson. I don't think he's, I think what with Steven Adams officially going down for the season, I think their season is cooked. I think, they're that team, like they play hard, their guys always play, so they win a lot of games. You know what I'm saying? They might sneak a 2 seed, might be a 3 seed. Um, I think moving on from Tyus Jones, I like that they bought in Derrick Rose. I like the Marcus Smart sort of. Uh, but I just don't. It's not going. It's they're never gonna be like the Grizzlies believe they're a championship team. Like, and of course you're supposed to believe you can win a championship, but the Grizzlies like firmly believe like, nah, we really, we should have been there. And it's like, no, like, did you watch yourself? Did you look at the film? You know what I'm saying? Did you really went into that game, into that series, and you're like, oh, I can win that? Nah. Ja would have to like go above and beyond, I think, to keep that team afloat this year. Bane's a good guy. Like, I mean, I like his game, but at the end of the day, he like what 6'3", 6'4".
Yeah. Yeah, if they're I saw that their projected starting lineup was Ja, Smart, and Bane. And that's
Yeah,
just a lot of small guards out on the court. Like you said, Steven Jackson out for the season. Not Steven Adams out for the
yeah.
season. Jaren Jackson now playing the five full time. He's great defensively, but he's still got to clean up. He
He's
gets in foul
6'11",
trouble too often.
6'11", and
Uh,
shooting the ball like he's a toddler.
if it works, it works, man. He got to the league shooting it like that.
Did he? Was that what got him there though?
I mean, look,
No, that's a league thing. That's that
he
bullshit.
defensive player of the year. So what got him
Whatever.
there is still working. But I think they'll have a okay season. I think with some actual veteran leadership in the locker room, I think things will be quiet in Memphis this year for the first time. Dylan Brooks isn't there. I think John Morant will be a bit more mature. At least I hope this
He's
upcoming
changed, bro. He got
season.
his new Nike campaign, bro.
So I think he'll be on his best behavior, and he's still one of the most electrifying players
Yeah,
in the league.
easily,
So
easily.
I think they'll be okay this season, but I don't think we'll see them, a top three seed
First
like
round
where
exit.
they've been the
First round exit.
last couple of years. Yeah, I could see it.
And my Memphis people not gonna like it, but I mean, it is what it is. I'm just being honest. I like John Morant though. I definitely, song playing person, easiest triple double I think I've ever witnessed in my life. They were playing the Knicks though.
Of course, no wonder it was that easy.
All right, anyway, that's gonna do it for our NBA look ahead, man. It's a lot going on. Nelly's numbers is making a return for the NBA season. We'll be having
On Thursday. On
on
Thursday.
Thursday. Nell is gonna post his plays, whatever he got for the NBA. He's officially retired from the NFL.
Bad experiment.
Yeah, but it
Don't
was,
I don't recommend it for anybody.
right. Nell tried it, he tried to help us out, it didn't work. My Quis take, we're gonna keep that on hold as well. I gotta see something. I gotta see something first before I say something. I gotta see something. But we got that coming back for you, man. And now we're gonna round the show out how we always do, man. NFL pick 'em. We both are 5-2 now. Both coming off losses. We 2 for 2 or 0 for 2, I guess. I picked my Bucks against the Falcons, and we disappointed. Don't want to talk about it much further than that. Nell went with the Raiders against the Bears and the D2. The guy from the PSAC.
Crazy.
Shout
out to the PSAC.
You know what I'm saying? And then he got, Brian Hoyer didn't hold it down. So we both 5-2, man. Nell, what's your pick for the week, bro?
What was my pick for the week? I want to go Jacksonville.
Yeah,
but I'm not going to do that to myself.
This is your show. You already picked them now, so you can't change it now. You might as well ride it out.
I could get me a little gimme this week with the Dolphins.
Play somebody else that you like though.
No, I'm gonna stick with my.
I'm
gonna stick with my gimme. Give me the Dolphins this week.
Nell's going with the Dolphins. I'm gonna take a gimme as well because we got to get back on the board. I'm going with the Chiefs over the Broncos. Don't even think I need to get too deep into that, man. Patty and the boys had a big win over the Chargers, man. We should have talked about that one a little more. But Justin Herbert has shown who he is. Walt, cut the tape on that. Like, he ain't got it. So I'm going with the Chiefs over the Broncos. Nell, you said you're going with the
Dolphins.
Yeah,
I'm getting my dub back.
All right, so we'll see, man. The Dolphins got to bounce back, so I like the pick, Nell. I'm going with the Chiefs, man. And that's going to do it for us today, folks, man. So I appreciate y'all as always. NBA season is here. NFL season we're almost halfway through the NFL season. You see Nell with the Sixers hat on, with the jersey as well. Is that a Harden jersey?
Stop playing with Mrs. Embiid, 21.
Okay. So, we got a lot coming, man. So as always, man, interact with us, talk to us on Instagram, Twitter. A lot of people interacted with the top 10 pick. That's great as always. So, this is going to drop on everything, man. YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Spreaker, whatever you got. If you listen to it usually on the podcast wave, chime into the YouTube, give it a chance, and vice versa. Just to get some different listening experience. But that's going to do it for me and Nell today. That's season 3, episode 12. We really appreciate it. As always, 2 for 2. We out.